What's up, everyone? Mitchell Saltzman here, and we are here at EVO 2023. This is it. This is kind of the moment that we've been waiting for, or at least I've been waiting for. I don't know if you've been waiting for it, but it's the moment where we get to see if all the training, the coaching, everything that I've done to get up to this point is going to be worth it. Just to remind everyone, I'm trying to go better than 3-2 in my pools. I don't have any grand ambitions of making top 8. I don't think I'm going to win Guilty Gear Strive EVO 2023, but I would like to get out of pools. I think that's a reasonable goal to shoot for. But before we do that, I kind of wanted to just show what you can do at EVO on the show floor. So let's walk around and find out. So this is actually kind of unique for 2023. There's a lot of really cool fighting games that aren't out right now, and you can just come and play them. So MK1's over here. We're gonna check out Project L in a little bit over there. Tekken 8 is somewhere on the floor, right over there. Usually I wouldn't say EVO is the place where you get to try out games before they come out, but this year feels like a special year.
The indie games booth is always one of my favorite stops at EVO. The lines are generally pretty short compared to the big games, and you get to get fighting game experiences that are typically very unique. Like Sklash, for example. It's a one-hit kill fighting game much like Nidhogg or Samurai Gun, with very tight design involving just 3 buttons that allows for extremely tense battles, as you can see. Pocket Bravery was another favorite of mine, which felt like a throwback to the old days of Pocket Fighter with really detailed chibi art and excellent character designs.
Why don't we go to, let's check out like the Artist Alley area, right? All right.
It's important to note that EVO, while primarily it is a fighting game tournament, it's also a convention, and like any convention, it's got a lively Artist Alley scene. You'll find everything from artist prints, to beat art, to keychains, to even an extremely impressive collection of custom controllers and joysticks. After browsing for a bit, we had a few secret appointments, which aren't so secret anymore, and you can watch them all for yourself. Then I grabbed lunch before my pool started in the afternoon.
All right, well, we checked out the show floor, had some lunch, crushed some water. It's time for pools. Let's go. My favorite part of EVO so far, it's kind of just been being here with like other fighting game fans, getting to experience other people's first EVO, trying to, guide them through some of the things that I was very clueless about when I first came here. It's the community aspect of it that I really, really enjoy about coming here every time. So one of the other cool things about EVO is that there's a bring your own console area. So let's go see if there's anyone playing Strive and we can get some practice.
Strangely enough, while waiting for some casual matches, I ran into Trace, an extremely strong Gold Lewis player that I lost to about 20 times in a row a few days prior. He had been talking to Smuggles, my coach from the second Road to EVO episode, and was kind enough to offer some advice on the matchup.
You've got some habits that you need to work on.
Yeah. Well, what's the number one habit you think I have right now?
You don't break wall with super, like half the time you could have. Like you had bar, and you got a wall splat, you just didn't break wall with it for some reason.
Okay.
You don't really use it for mix still, because a lot of the time it was just, do minus move Red RC. And then man, habits are hard to break, It is.
Eventually, I got my chance to jump into some matches. I love hanging out in the casuals area because, first off, it's great to warm myself up and ease some of the nerves. But beyond that, you also just get to meet some really cool people, and really get to know the faces behind the usernames that you see online. Also, you usually see some wild things, like Brian, who made a leverless controller from a Wii Fit balance board.
All right, so just finished up some casual sets. I feel like I did pretty good. I got, good wins on a couple of matchups that I feel not so great about, especially Potemkin. Did get 0-3 on against Akai, which is a matchup that, sometimes I struggle with. But, it's all just a matter of learning and trying to figure out where the holes are. So hopefully I can apply those lessons. Got pools coming up. There's no watch there.
On my way over to pools, I found an old coworker and friend, CJ, whose son Charlie is competing in Street Fighter 6. Now, look, I don't know a lot of teenagers these days, or their skill levels at fighting games, but comparing him to myself when I was his age, Charlie seems like a dang prodigy.
I came to enjoy the first EVO experience and to mark it off my bucket list. He's Passing the torch officially.
Having played against Charlie, I think he'll definitely win at least 2.
And win at least 2 he did, as Charlie actually made it out of pools at his very first EVO at 16 years old.
Dude, great job.
Fighting games are wonderful. The first thing you do when arriving at your pool is check in with your TO, the tournament organizer. They'll tell you who you're playing and keep the bracket running smoothly. Then it's just a matter of waiting for your matches and maybe discussing some strategy.
9,000. You said Jurassic Rabbit?
When they finally call your name, it's time. All the training, all the coaching, all the hours, all lead up to this. Ready or not, it was time to play, and no matter how hard I try, nerves are always a factor.
Alright, you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Good luck, dude.
Match 1 was tough. I definitely was feeling the nerves. Even though Milia was a character that Smuggles worked with me on, I still found myself overwhelmed by a lot of her pressure. I made sure I was using faultless defense to create space, used backdashes sparingly in the corner to earn myself some big punishes, and ultimately, I was able to take it all the way to the final round of the final match of the set.
GG's, dude. That was intense. Alright, so didn't win the first match. God, it was so close. It was so close. I was literally within one jab of closing out the last match and wasn't able to do it. It's a bummer. We still got our life though. Now we gotta run through losers, so let's see how it goes. Yeah, the nerves got to me too. I feel it like in the back of my neck when things start getting a little intense. Like the back of my neck just starts shaking. I'm just like...
Since I lost the first match, I now was in loser's bracket, which meant that I only got to play against other players who also lost a match, meaning whoever lost would get sent home. Thankfully, my second opponent was much easier, since they didn't show up.
So I got a bye, which is technically a win, so I'm 1-1.
My next match was against a Mei, which is a matchup that I'm much more familiar and comfortable with, even despite Mei being an extremely strong character. Due to that, I was able to run my offense much more cleanly.
Alright, so second match went much better. I had some great coaching from my buddy Will. Get in here, Will. Get in here. Get in your IGN video. Will is my training buddy. We've been playing since the game came out pretty much.
Since the beta.
Since the beta.
Since the beta.
I fear no soul because of this man. But yeah, he told me to use more close slash into 2S, which is something that Diphone told me to do also. So it worked out. 3-0. 3-0, let's go.
Mitchell,
What's up?
what's your record now?
2 and 2. 2 and 1. Not 2 and 2. Actually 2 and 1. I'd be out if it was 2 and 2.
It's been a very long day. My next match was against Bridget, another mix-up character like Milia, but more long range. Thankfully, I was able to smother her with Geo's pressure and didn't drop around the whole set. I even used my meter for a mix-up. Thanks, Smuggles. At this point, things started moving really fast, as I was suddenly thrown into a match against a Happy Chaos player. Happy Chaos is arguably the strongest character in the game right now, and probably the one I felt the worst about facing off against. But I put those thoughts in the back of my head and ended up winning 3-0 again after baiting his burst to take the last round. And before I even had any time to contemplate my victory or to debrief to the camera, I was in Losers Finals, and suddenly put into a match against Faust, a very unconventional character to say the least. In the end, I ended up dropping the set 3-2 on the last round. Kept getting hit by a really tricky technique that involves a wall break, a teleport, a fast RC into a command throw, which I recognized he was doing, but didn't grind the matchup enough to recognize how to deal with it. At least as a consolation, my opponent complimented me and told me that he had a really strong Geo back home to practice against.
Alright, well, unfortunately, that is the end of my road to EVO. I lost in the last match, get out of pools, which, you know, my goal when I started this whole thing was to do better than my personal best, which was 3 and 2. I did 4 and 2, so hey, one goal down. I guess I'll have to come back next year and see if I can get out of pools then. But man, it was so much fun. This is my favorite environment to be in. I think one thing that I can take away from this is that I've definitely gotten better. And I think a lot of that comes down to the stuff that I was taught from Diaphone and Smuggles. You know, you can see it in some of the games that I did. I use a lot more, close slash into 2S. I use backdash in the corner to avoid getting hit. I use yellow RC to get them off me. I did some fast RCs for mix-ups. You know, I probably could have done a little more, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I think one of the really cool things about fighting games is that even though you hit speed bumps, the journey continues. So I'm gonna come back next year. I'm gonna try to fill those holes in my game. And yeah, that's the end of my road to EVO. But if you followed me on it, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you then.